Welcome to the Trail Chasers podcast. I'm your host, Dean Horwitz, and I'm excited to share this journey with you. Each week, we'll be hitting the trails with some of South Africa's most inspiring trail runners, diving into the topics that matter most and uncovering the secrets of this incredible sport. Lace up your trail shoes and join me on this adventure. New episodes every week. How's it, Chris? Welcome to the Trail Chasers. Thanks for jumping on at such short notice. I hadn't heard about SkyRun Zimbabwe, and in the last 24 hours, I've had so many people just tell me they're coming and how excited they are. So I thought, get you on here and find out more. So welcome and thanks, as I said. Tell me, what is SkyRun Zimbabwe?
Yeah, SkyRun Zimbabwe started 10 years ago, so this is our 10th one. As a family, we basically far and wide, the family business started in 1989 out here. It's an outdoor education school, and with that we built this amazing trail called the Tarako Trail. And so the idea, trail running was obviously becoming quite popular 10 years ago in the world. So there was an idea sparked that we've got a beautiful trail, the Tarako Trail. It's 100% single track. It's through Afro-montane forest, riverine forest, montane grassland. So it's the perfect playground for a trail run. So as a family, we just chatted one day and we just decided, let's try it. And in 2014, we had, I think, 22 runners entered. And a lot of them, Zimbabweans, weren't really into trail running. A lot of them loved the comrades and Two Oceans and that and road running. So the SkyRun Zim was the first sort of trail race. And a lot of these guys came with road running as their experience. Found it tough the first year. And it's been just amazing to see the growth in trail running in Zim. Not only that, but just people, the growth themselves. We've had one guy, Roberto, who's coming back for his 10th one, so he's done it every single year, which is quite impressive. And a lot of the runners do come back every single year. But it's just so cool to see the trail community growing in Zim as a result of the sort of the spark that was created back then.
The trail community in Zimbabwe, how do you reflect on the growth of that?
Yeah, it's been amazingly positive to see. It's grown a lot faster than we thought. I don't know, it's been 10 years, but it's like SkyRun sells out within the challenge, the 32-kilometer sells out within 2 minutes. That crashes every year. And then the Ultra sells out in 5-10 minutes. And then the long one, the GOAT, a lot of runners are getting to those longer distances, those ultras, those big ultras in Zim. But certainly the challenge in the 56K ultra is the bread and butter, and then the GOAT is fairly new, 115 kilometers. But the trail community is certainly growing in Zim. A lot of Zimbos are going to races like Ultra Trail Cape Town, the Otter Trail, and that's fantastic to see. And the Trailblazers has created this really cool community of runners. There's other races happening in Zim as well, Ranyanga. So it's all definitely growing.
And is it centered around an area or is it across the country?
SkyRun is obviously the Eastern Highlands. It's in Nyanga, and that's been our base for 35 years. So SkyRun happened here, then Ranyanga's the new trail race. They don't cross paths, but that's north in Nyanga. And then the Trailblazers events happen around the country.
You mentioned that there's a new race. How have the distances evolved over the 10 years?
So we started with the 56, the Ultra. That's always been the main race. The challenge, the 32-kilometer, we started a year later, not the first year, and that attracts the biggest numbers of participants or athletes. The Ultra has certainly grown in the last 4 years to get up to 100 athletes, which is really good because we cap the race to 300, max 300 people.
Okay. Is that just because logistics, or is it regulations, or?
It's to do with logistics and safety. And also, just not. We wanted to keep it quite a family event, quite a small event. compared to the other events out there, South African
Yeah.
events. But yeah, it's a very remote trail. There's no road access to any of the water points, nutrition points. So once you start, you are on a single track the whole way until the halfway point where there is a major nutrition station, and that's where the challenge starts. The 32-kilometer starts at that point. So that's your only access. So from that perspective, keeping everyone safe is a big thing. And obviously, mountain weather, you just never know what you're going to get. We do have helicopter backup every year, which is really cool to have. Yeah, one of our sponsors has provided that. So it's really, that's why the numbers are limited.
Yeah. And then the 56, and then you go up to the 115.
Yeah, the 115. We've got 15 athletes this year. We capped it at 20. We had a few dropouts in the last few weeks, as always, but yeah, capped it at 20. So we've got 15 athletes. Some of them from South Africa, some from Italy. So yeah, should be quite a cool.
Yeah, and so is that the first year you're doing that longer distance?
We did 3 years ago. We did 100-kilometer. Then last year we did a 75-kilometer. We called those races the Epic. And then this year we've fine-tuned the trail and created new sections that have resulted in this 115, the GOAT. So it's the first time it's been run as a race. Yeah.
And do you work with the International SkyRun Federation at all, or is it you're not a part of that?
We're not. We're trying to obviously see how we can become a part of it, but SkyRun South Africa, they really helped us in the beginning, and
amazing
sports tracks. They come out every year, basically, just to be the big brother.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit about people who are attracted. If you look at the participants, is it majority Zimbabweans or is it Zimbabwe, South Africa? Yeah, what is the kind of split there?
Yeah, certainly the majority Zimbabweans, 70% Zimbabweans,
sure.
And then South Africans. Zambia is quite a big one, and then a nice little breakdown from America, UK, Europe. I think we've got quite a few professionals coming this year. Admire, who is a Zimbabwean, is coming. He's doing the GOAT, so that's one. And then there's a few Terex runners coming.
Yeah, that's what I was chatting to.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I was chatting to Macy this morning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and obviously nice. he started the German Skyrunning Federation. Yeah, I'm very interested to hear. And last night.
The German.
Yes.
He started the German one. Oh wow.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome to have him.
And last night we had a talk with Robbie Rorick, cool. Who he's spoken fondly of skyrunning, so I'm sure he's going to have a good time. Excellent. And when you talk about those elites, what type of elites are attracted to the race? Have you had elites over the years?
I think logistically, you've got to be honest, logistically it's quite a hard event to get to. Zim in itself is quite a hard there's no public transport or anything like that, so getting to the event is quite a challenge, and that's probably our biggest challenge when it comes to attracting elites. But we've had Emily Horgood, she's obviously in America, Terex runner, and then a few others, but we more and more we are getting some elite interest from the elites, just to see how we can make it easier logistically for them to get here.
Yeah. And in terms of you mentioned a bit about the landscape, but what is it? Single track? What is elevation, the altitude, things like that?
Altitude, the highest point is Mount Nyangani, and that's 2,592 meters. So that's our highest point. Elevation gain, the 32, I've got to get this right, is 1,500 meters elevation gain. The 56 is 3,400, and then the GOAT is close to 6,000 meters elevation gain, with a 13,000 meters elevation change. It's quite unique in that you start at Far and Wide, which is up in the mountains, and it's at 1,800 meters, and you end at Aberfoyle, which is roughly 800 meters.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it's quite unique in that sense that you've got your last 16 kilometers is pretty much downhill. So it's quite an epic little way to finish the event. There is one major hill in there that we introduced last year and got a lot of flack for, but we've kept that there.
Yeah.
And then, in terms of the actual trail, it's 100% single track, which I think makes it super, super special. There aren't many races that can provide 100% single track.
Yeah, that's incredible. And is that a track you've built yourself?
Yeah, so it's the Tarako Trail. It's a hiking trail open throughout the year, and
Sure.
it took us 4 years to build the first section, and we opened it back in 2012, and then we've as we've gone, we've created new sections to the trail. But it's all in Nyanga National Park too, which is also another very special aspect, because obviously partnering with Zim Parks, and that creates more awareness about the park, and the community projects that we undergo with national parks, and SkyRun helps raise funds for that. So that all adds to it, and just makes it a cool feel good event, a family event.
Yeah, sure. And you did mention a little bit about the kind of aid stations. So is it similar to the SkyRun South Africa, and like self-supported, self-navigated?
Yeah, 100% self-navigated. There is obviously the GPS route, but we've also got quite a cool app or map that we've got, and a little blue dot follows you around. So on a smartphone, have it on airplane mode. So that works really well. So navigation is made easy by that. We don't have any tape or anything along the trail. I just wanted it to be as purist as possible, be more of an adventure at the same time as a trail. And then the nutrition stations, because it's so remote, we do, and your supporters can't get in to provide you with anything. We do have nutrition stations along the way, one major one halfway, and then another one a bit further along and 3/4 of the way through. But primarily a self-navigated, self-nutrition event.
Sure. And weather-wise?
It's the mountains, so it's 1 year. 1 year can be pouring with rain. Next year, a scorcher. Last year was warm. Weather-wise, it's looking good, looking really good. But luckily, it's not pouring with rain, because we can get 100 mils in 2 hours, and then the rivers are huge because there's big river crossings and that.
Wow.
So that adds to the complexity.
And is there water on the mountain?
Yeah, lots of water, lots of streams, all fresh, all drinkable, because it's all pretty much spring water straight out of the mountain. So it's really good water.
Amazing. And in terms of sponsorship, how has that kind of developed over the years?
Yeah, it's been super interesting to see. And our main sponsor, Paragon, they are like amazing people, but in printing and packaging and signage and that. So they help with all our branding and everything. And they've been an amazing part. They came in the beginning. For the first 3 years, we struggled to get anyone that would even want to touch it. But then Mark and his team loved it, loved the event, and they took it by the horns and said, we want to firmly be involved. And they've just grown with us, which has been fantastic. And then we've got lots of amazing sponsors. We've got Isuzu. We don't have any sporting brand sponsors like Terex or Salomon or that kind of thing. Tricky to break into the market in Zim with the trail running kit or that sort of thing. Although it is growing, we're partnering with Tim this year. With Pura on board, so we are getting more and more of like the sporting sponsors coming and keen to get involved. But we've got lots of amazing companies that have joined the sponsorship and the partnership over the years, which is really cool.
Amazing. And what is your kind of race village experience like?
So Race Village, it's because you don't start and finish at the same point. It's not a loop. It's start at Far and Wide, finish at Aberfoyle. So there's 2 race villages. We've got Sawira, who's our partner in setting up the race village. They do these cool glamping tents, 3x3 meter tents, 2 single beds in them, lights, and then hot showers, toilets. A really funky, cool vibe in the race village on both ends. Logistically, very challenging to create the race
Can
village
imagine.
to start with. But yeah, again, another epic partner that's come in and helped us be able to create that vibe. At Far and Wide, we've got this really cool mountain center that we've just finished refurbing. Everyone eats in there. It's beautiful. It's like glass in this forest, and yeah, it's really cool. So big glass building basically in a forest.
And what is the kind of average finishing times for the different races?
Average on the 32 is about 8 hours, 7-8 hours. 32 kilometer. Then the 56 kilometer, you're looking at about average of 12 hours. And then we did the 100K. The winner did it in 22 hours, and the last guy's home with 30. Yeah, it's looking at those times. It's quite a challenging race from that perspective. I think the record for the 32 is 4 hours 20 minutes. The record for the ultra is 7 hours 15 minutes. Actually, a Cape Townian guy came down and got that record. Yeah, so those are the records. Ladies, Emily Horgood got the ultra at 8 hours 14 minutes, and then ladies on the 32 it's just over 5 hours.
Okay. And what are you expecting in terms of the times this year?
The goat's going to be interesting. It's a hard one because you never know when it's the first time you've put on a specific race. It's a hard one to judge, and with an elite coming, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know. I'm not going to say what he's hoping to do it in, but I reckon 18 hours is going to be your winning time on that race.
Yeah.
He'd like to do a lot faster than that. So we'll see. He's awesome, Admire. So we'll see if he can do it. Obviously, there's some other good runners, Zim runners, but yeah, we'll see. The 56, obviously, we've got the Terex guys coming for that. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see if they can get that 7 hours, 20-minute record. And then also Terex runner doing the 32.
Yeah.
So, yeah, records could go.
Yeah. And how do people track the weekend? You did mention you have Sport Tracks. What's your kind of media marketing, that type of following the event on the weekend?
Yeah, so we've partnered with Rhino Creative, really funky, cool local media video creators. So they're going to be handling like the creation, but JJ, my brother, and his wife Kate are really good as well. So they'll be posting and creating things as the day goes, as the day progresses, with Rhino Creative creating an after movie and the after photos kind of thing. So yeah, our Instagram, SkyRun Zim, is the place to follow the race. It's a lot of content. Last year the content was fantastic. Got some great feedback. Sports Tracks, yeah, you can follow the athletes on Sports Tracks. The link will go out on our Instagram page. So yeah, anyone can follow the runners. They are SAT tracked, also RFID tags with SAT ones. So it's quite a nice story of your athlete that you want to watch. It's not a jumpy experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And race times, do they all start at the same time, or have you spread it out over the weekend?
The GOAT starts 12 o'clock Friday. The Ultra starts 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and then the Challenge starts 8:30 on Saturday.
Okay, cool. So all kind of day, obviously the longer ones are day-night, but yeah. And in terms of your kind of experience or your weekend, what are the biggest challenges that you faced during the event?
From a organizer's perspective?
Yeah.
Certainly the logistics of getting race marshals out onto, again, we've got some cool, amazing volunteers. Our mountain instructors as well are part of the team, so they're really good guys. But yeah, getting the teams out into position and then extracting them is a big thing because of the remoteness. The weather, when it's pouring with rain, that means no helicopter. So from a medical perspective, being able to get medics into a very remote section of the trail within a 30-minute window is a challenge, but we've obviously thought about that, and with 35 years of experience in the mountains, we do know what to do, how to do it. Yeah, but this year I reckon it's going to be fairly warm again, so just making sure everyone's hydrated, keeping hydrated is going to be quite an important thing for us, so that could be quite a challenge. Yeah, I reckon those are our biggest challenges. All the nutrition goes up on donkey, so that just shows the extent.
That's incredible. And what is the kind of highlights of the weekend for you?
For me, seeing everyone cross the finish line is a huge highlight. A lot of them very unhappy at that point and just being human. Then seeing them in the next sort of hour to 5 hours as they just, it dawns on them what they've achieved, that for me is just so special. And it's not only that, like throughout the year, a lot of people that sign up for SkyRun, because we open entries in January and they've got the year to set their mind to it. A lot of people that sign up for SkyRun have challenges in their life and they've gone through something, and so SkyRun is their goal and they want to achieve SkyRun. And so just to hear those stories as well as the year goes along, and then certainly a lot of them come out as they cross the finish line or once they've calmed down an hour later, kind of come and tell the stories. And so that's really special, especially for us as organizers and as a family as well. Yeah.
Incredible. Why would you say that everyone needs to do this race at least once in their life, or at least 1,000,000 times?
Yeah, it's just certainly a unique experience from the different scenery that you go through. Every 1 second you're in Afro-montane forest, next second you're in Afro-montane grassland, then riparian forest, then you're running past the highest waterfall in Zim, second highest in Africa. The goat runners go over the skywalk, which is a suspension bridge above the second highest waterfall in Africa, which is pretty epic. And yeah, just from a community perspective and a family sort of organized events, I think everyone that comes goes away feeling enlightened and having had this amazing experience in the wilderness, and just a super spiritual experience, even if it is like out in the wilderness by yourself. So yeah, I think there's many reasons to come and do SkyRun, but yeah, the Tarako Trail certainly is a special trail.
Yeah. And in terms of preparing for the race, I chatted to the guys from Skyway South Africa, and they were like, you need to prepare with someone who's done the trail. Is that the same feeling with you guys?
Yeah. I think if you don't really get an understanding from someone that's done the race before, then you, no matter how prepared you are, you're in for an experience. It's tough. It's a tough race, tough event, but that's what makes it so rewarding. So having knowledge of someone that's done it before is beneficial, for sure.
Yeah. And also with the SkyRun guys, they host like a training camp during the year. Do you guys offer anything like that?
So we have in the past. We were going to do one in conjunction with Trailblazers this year. But yeah, everything got so busy with other events and that, but guys have been able to come up and book cottages out here and go on the trail themselves as little groups. So that's been quite cool. Next year there definitely will be a training event, which will be a cool, unique event in itself. We're thinking of doing like a relay of the goat.
Oh wow, amazing.
Trail. So it'll be quite a unique event, training event in itself.
Amazing. And what does the future hold for you, for the event, for the area?
Certainly every year we try and make the event better. Every year we try and make it sleek, more and more professional, make it safer. I think we've got quite a nice recipe now, and as long as we keep to the core of ultra trail running and what the event, I think it's only going to improve. We've got amazing partners I mentioned that help us create this event and make it better every year. We don't want to make it any bigger numbers wise. We want to keep it fairly small, keep it fairly. So yeah, I don't think much room for growth in certainly in SkyRun, but yeah, maybe other little training events, there's room for growth for sure. But as an actual event, I think we've capped the numbers at a good number.
And do you find most people come for the week, or does it come in on the Friday?
A few people will come like Wednesday, Thursday, but the majority of people come for the Friday, and then a lot of people tend to stay on Sunday for another night at Aberfoyle, which is quite cool. But yeah, generally in Friday, out Sunday.
Amazing. And how do you get there from South Africa? Is it a driving thing?
From South Africa, you would need Joburg and fly across from Joburg to Harare. Then Harare, we've got a cool connection with Europcar, so we can help hire vehicles and get vehicles for international runners. And you would drive up to Nyanga, which is 300 k's from Harare, roughly looking at about 4 hours from Harare drive. And yeah, that's far and wide. Logistically, we organize to get the vehicles down to Aberfoyle, and obviously that's the finish line. So from Aberfoyle back to Harare is 5 hours.
Okay, amazing. Good luck. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to follow along and see how it all goes.
Cool. Thanks, Dean. Really great to chat, and thanks for inviting us on the podcast and everything. Great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers. Have a great day.
Cheers.
Bye.